Frogs Today. Live from Lot 12 at the Hyatt Place in Fort Worth, it's our Flying T Club basketball tip-off, featuring Frog players and coaches, as we dive deeper into your preseason number 14 TCU Horned Frogs. Here's your host, the voice of the TCU Horned Frogs, Brian Estridge.
Welcome into Frogs Today live here at Lot 12 at the Hyatt Place in Fort Worth. I'm Brian Estridge along with Bingo Merricks and Jamie Plunkett. We have got a fun night for you. It is the Flying T Club's basketball tip-off. So tonight we get to focus on the 14th ranked Horned Frogs here tonight. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on. We also got some TCU baseball guys that are in the house. I bet you might see a football coach or two who will come by as well. So get ready, buckle up. It's going to be a fun night here. Glad you've joined us here on this live edition of Frogs Today. Let's start, though, by talking about this basketball program. Number 14 in the country. Preseason polls come out. There's a lot to be said about that, Bingo. To me, the number one thing that stands out is respect. When people around the country put you at 14 in the preseason poll, that means a little something, doesn't it?
It definitely means respect, and I think the Horned Frogs are ready to take the challenge. The game against Arizona last year, I think, put them on notice to the nation to let them know that they're here to play and to be ready to play for the season.
It's funny you say that because folks haven't forgotten that Arizona game, nor should they. Neither has Jamie Dixon and his group as they look to continue to improve on what has been now a stair-stepped process. Jim, you look at it over the years for Coach Dixon's program. Still a lot to reach as far as goals are concerned, according to Coach Dixon. But the improvement that we've seen over the last couple of years is pretty amazing.
It really is. And when you think about how they've gotten here, too, winning the NIT in his first year on campus, and then getting to the tournament the second year, missing a couple years after that, and then really going through a quick rebuild, bringing in 8 new transfers before last season and getting some really high character guys, incredibly talented on the court guys as well, getting them back to that NCAA tournament. And it feels like in just a short amount of time, this rebuild has really almost neared completion.
You know, one of the things that stands out to me, Bingo, and you're around him every day, is this coaching staff that he has put together. Tony Benford, Dwayne Broussard. I mean, these are guys who could and should and have been head coaches before, and the experience that they bring to the table is just unmatched.
And I think a lot of times with them, they're also player coaches. They also played the game as well. Yeah. So they get a great feel of the players, and they've been in the trenches, so they can kind of give them their experience, and I think that helps the guys out as well also.
You and I have talked about this before. The detail that they go through in practice is pretty amazing. They don't leave a stone unturned, do they?
They really don't. Defense, offense, schemes, and everything you'll see. If you're able to sit and watch one of their practices, Coach Dixon doesn't leave a stone unturned.
There's one thing, though, that I think is going to be a real challenge. I want to get your take on this, and that is the fact that this roster is so loaded. And the way college basketball is today, will that become a factor? You hope not, and you're making sure you get enough minutes for everyone.
You know, I think that the good thing about returning all 5 starters and a bunch of guys off the bench is everybody has pretty good clarity on their roles. Yeah. You only bring in 1 transfer from Oklahoma State and Rondell Walker and 1 freshman in PJ Haggerty. Everyone else has a defined role. And that might shift and change a little bit throughout the season, but I think that when you think about these guys being relatively unselfish as it is, and the fact that they have those defined roles, I don't foresee that being too big of an issue.
You know, Bingo, you've been a part of a bunch of teams, obviously played, 18 years overseas, obviously the terrific time here under Billy Tubbs. It's amazing how that tends to work itself out if you have success, right? If the team is good, if the team experiences success, those sort of inner squabbles don't show up, do they?
They really don't. And I think the main thing about this team is the camaraderie.
Yeah.
I think these guys, they are showing how they're a brotherhood, and I think it shows on the court. In practice, they go at each other a lot of times. You know how brothers fight, go back and forth, but it's going to pay off when they play in the games this season.
Yeah, and you think about where the Big 12 is right now, still an elite league, maybe the best in the country. For the Horned Frogs to be picked in that upper division, that says a little something too, doesn't it?
And I think it puts a target on their back now.
Yeah.
People are going to see TCU coming this year, but I think these guys are ready for the challenge, and I think it's going to be a fun season.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised, to be honest with you, Jamie, that Kansas, not that Kansas was picked to win it, but that Texas was picked ahead of the Horned Frogs. That was the one surprise in the preseason poll for me.
That was very interesting, considering how the seasons ended last year, what both teams did in the offseason this year, and the guys noticed that. Players, as much as they talk about keeping their head down and staying focused, they notice stuff like that. And I think that being picked fourth, when you very well could have been picked third or maybe even second, considering the returning talent, that's going to be a motivating factor for this team, which is funny because we talk about last year being picked eighth, but now they're 14th in the preseason poll. But you talk to these guys, and that's still not good enough. They still feel like there's a chip on their shoulder and that they have something to prove.
Well, what is it that Coach Dixon has on the back of the practice jerseys? Doesn't it say 7 and 9?
Yep.
It says 7 and 9 as a reminder of, hey, this is what you finished last year in the league.
Right.
It wasn't all roses last
Right.
year. There's still a lot of work to be done. I like that kind of stuff.
I like it because, like you said, they have a chip on their shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that, I think they play with a purpose every game.
Yeah.
So the games that are not as tough as Kansas or Texas, they still have to come out and play their best basketball because they're a ranked team now. So they can't get down to any team. They have to come out and punch them first.
When you were here at TCU with Coach Tubbs, there was a lot of excitement around the program. Folks were talking basketball here in Fort Worth. I get the sense that we've maybe even surpassed that now, especially with the preseason number 14 ranking.
I think this team here has so much talent.
Yeah.
And I think, back when we played with Coach Tubbs was pretty much the prestige coach.
Yep.
And everybody wanted to see Billy ball.
Yep.
And so we bought into that. But now each individual player has something to bring to the team. And I think that's what the people want to see this year.
Yeah, by the way, maybe the most talented team the TCU's had.
You know what? The player in me wants to say no, but I think I'm going to have to say yes, it is.
I mean, they really are. I mean, you look at them. I mean, you talked about the depth with this group, and it's as if they can play any game you can name. They've had one game so far, an exhibition game, that we can't really talk about the opponent,
right?
But we can talk about the game itself. It was against a team from a Power 5 conference that is highly thought of
in the preseason poll.
In the preseason poll, in the top 25 preseason poll, and these Horned Frogs, they had their way with it.
They won by 30.
Yeah.
They won 99 to 69.
Yeah.
And then they played an additional period, from what I was told after that, and TCU beat them by 15 in that period as well.
Yeah.
So this is a team that's clearly motivated, clearly capable of taking care of business against a talented opponent. And now it's just about making sure that everything's put together and prepared for the season to start.
One of the things that I think helps this program now, Bingo, is the fact that they've got Desmond Bain in the NBA. You've got R.J. Nembhard in the NBA. You've got Kenrich Williams
Kenny
in
Hustle.
the NBA. Yeah, you had your 18-year career overseas. You've had guys that have come through here now with a reputation. That's got to help, doesn't it, when guys are thinking about, okay, where am I going to end up for my playing career? TCU looks like a place that can feed me there.
Definitely. I think, how you talked about the scrimmage that they had and then how they played against a team that was really a powerhouse. And I think they surprised themselves. And so I think also with Desmond Bain, and when they come back to here and they see them play, and they can realize that I can play on the next level too, because it's a stepping stone for to start out. And like Desmond Bain is just the beginning of what can possibly happen for like a Eddie, Mike Miles, and so on.
Yeah, when you think about it, this staff, and it has been Jamie Dixon's mantra over the years, has been a development coach. Yeah, obviously he's got talented players, but players get better when they come here, and you don't always see that, do you?
You don't, and I think the big thing you can see is how Eddie lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
I think that is a big key, and just to show how Coach Dixon developed his players, and he wants the best out of his players.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. All right, so coming up a little bit later on, we're going to spend some time with these TCU basketball players. Coach Dixon will be along. We'll talk to his staff as well. These guys are some really good guys, as a matter of fact. We also got some baseball we need to talk about as well. And Jamie Plunkett's going to do that a little bit later. You got a couple of guys you want to visit with here?
Oh, absolutely. Always happy to talk to a TCU baseball player.
All right, so it's a baseball night. It's a basketball night. We're going to talk some football as well. All right, we're live here at Lot 12 of the Hyatt Place in Fort Worth. It is Frogs Today. It's presented by our friends at the Flying T Club here tonight. It's their Flying T Club basketball tip-off. Glad you've joined us here. We got a lot more we're going to get into after we take this time out.
Dave's Hot Chicken is a cult favorite and now has 2 locations in Fort Worth, Bryant Irvin Road on I-20 and Berry Street at TCU. Both owned and operated by Horned Frogs. Mention the Frogs Today show and get 10% off anytime and order online at daveshotchicken.com.
The Flying T Club provides the everyday TCU fan and alum the ability to specifically support TCU student athletes. Flying T Club offers 3 levels of memberships. The Flying T Club is a nonprofit organization supporting the brand development of TCU student athletes through a series of unique event-based networking opportunities, which are exclusive to our members. These events provide a great social engagement tool for our members and student athletes alike. Follow them on Instagram at Flying T Club or online at flyingtclub.com.
Texas-based Happy Water offers the best tasting sugar-free kids drink ever made. Happy Water comes in 4 delicious flavors that you can find at local retailers and on Amazon. Each pouch contains 0 grams of sugar, 0 calories, and 0% juice. Head to happydrinks.com for more information and to purchase Happy Water. That's HAPI Live happy, be happy, drink happy.
For exclusive interviews and content on TCU recruits, subscribe now at frogstoday.com. Any sport, anytime. It's your source for all things TCU. Only on frogstoday.com.
Welcome back into Frogs Today live here at Lot 12. We're hanging out on the patio. It is beautiful weather here in Fort Worth, Texas today as we are here for the Big 12 tip-off, or TCU basketball tip-off for the Flying T Club. But for a moment, before we get into more hoops, got a couple baseball players here with me, Luke Savage, Luis Rodriguez, and Ryan Vanderhey. My apologies, good friend Ryan. Here for the Horned Frog baseball team, we're going to talk to you guys a little bit now. Luke, I want to start with you because you were here last year. The TCU run ended down in College Station, obviously not where you guys wanted to end the season, but talk to me, when you have a season like you did where you won a Big 12 regular season championship, obviously Coach Sarlos, Big 12 Coach of the Year, when you have success like that, how does that impact your goals for the upcoming season?
I mean, I think it just makes us really hungry for this year. We tasted a little bit last year and then the year before with the Big 12 championship. But I think this year we're shooting for a national championship. That's the end goal, and I don't think we'll be satisfied with anything else.
And for you guys, it's your first year on campus. Give me your impression of what fall camp's been like for you so far.
It's been amazing. It's a grind, that's for sure. Having the knowledge behind like Luke Savage and Ken Brown has helped me get better every day, and that's all I can ask for.
Yeah, so, Ryan, I know we talked to you a little bit over the summer when you were in the process of transferring. Tell me, what do you know now about TCU baseball that maybe you didn't know when you transferred?
No, yeah, it's definitely been as advertised. They say iron sharpens iron. There's no way to put it other than that. You get here, scrimmages, you're facing a top 10 offense every single day. If you can't get better from that, you're doing something wrong. Like, all of us are getting better every single day. It's just so fun. Everyone loves each other. Everyone loves being at the field every day. It's just a great atmosphere, all in all. I love it.
Lewis, what's it like for you? You're a part of this incredibly talented freshman class this year. You've got a lot of guys on the mound, a lot of guys at the plate that are just phenomenally talented. What's it like knowing that every single day you're going up against the best of the best?
It's a great feeling. Understanding that everybody's going to be the best of the best, and it makes you compete. It makes you better. It makes the whole team better.
All right. Luke, I got to get an update. Blessed Feet, your wonderful charity that's providing shoes overseas for up-and-coming young baseball players. Give us an update on how things are going in that avenue right now.
Yeah, so right now the big thing that we're working on is getting 501c3 status just so we can get larger government donations, things like that. And then we're planning on a bunch of Christmas events, with the holiday season coming up. So hopefully being able to do stuff locally here in DFW with some underprivileged high schools and things like that.
Awesome. These questions. This next question is for all of you. I know that a couple weeks ago you had a chance to play at Globe Life. You've had some experience at Globe Life before, but guys, walk me through. You were playing some guys who do this for a living. They make money doing this now. What was it like going up against that Rangers instructional team, playing them? What was your experience like?
I mean, I think it's always super cool to play guys like that because you don't run into that all the time in college. You know, guys are just up there slinging 100 and they can put the ball out of Globe Life with wood. And so it's definitely different. But I think it's super cool to be able to go against top talent like that in the fall and kind of see where you stack up against that.
Had you ever been a part of a game where one team was using wood bats and the other was using aluminum?
No, never.
No.
What was that like, Ryan, when you're out there, you know, all right, these guys are hitting with wood, my guys have aluminum, but it just, for me, when I was there, the sound was so different, it was just throwing me off a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a little weird. I mean, you try not to think about it as a pitcher because you don't want them to hit it, so you're just trying to think of an Invisibat anyways.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's cool. I mean, playing against the Texas Rangers, I mean, come on, that's every little kid's dream. I mean, to be able to play in a stadium like that was my first big league stadium. My parents got to be there to watch. I mean, it was just a pretty cool time for me, honestly. I mean, I can speak for just about everyone saying that was one of the coolest things you've ever done as a baseball player.
No, it's one thing to go up against guys in fall, and you've got another exhibition coming up here shortly. But, Luis, I want to know, how excited are you for the Big 12 season to start, for the regular season to start, to get out there and know that the games really matter?
I'm very excited. I haven't played there, so something new for me and for those freshmen that are coming. But we're really excited. We're really excited to compete against everybody in the Big 12.
Awesome. Luke, one last question for you, man. You know, TCU's losing every starter from the weekend this past year, as far as pitching rotation goes. What has the competition been like for you guys so far this fall, and what are your expectations heading into the spring?
Yeah, I mean, I think we got a good group of guys that are going for the starting roles, and I think it really just comes down to, you know, like you said, iron sharpening iron, and we all go to push each other. You know, we ask each other about grips, how do you throw this pitch, and so really just bettering each other so that the top three show and that we can win as many games as we can in the spring.
Awesome, guys. Thanks so much for joining us here. This is Frogs Today live here at Lot 12, part of the Flying T basketball tip-off event. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back after that.
Say hello to the water of tomorrow. Richard's Rainwater. Richard's Rainwater is 100% rain, refreshing, renewable, and the only ingredient we use in our water. Why rain? Because everyone deserves access to clean water, and rain is a 100% renewable resource available everywhere. Drink the rain. Save the planet. Shop now at richardsrainwater.com. Dave's Hot Chicken is a cult favorite and now has 2 locations in Fort Worth, Bryant Irvin Road on I-20 and Berry Street at TCU. Both owned and operated by Horned Frogs. Mention the Frogs Today show and get 10% off anytime, and order online at daveshotchicken.com.
For exclusive interviews and content on TCU recruits, subscribe now at frogstoday.com. Any sport, anytime. It's your source for all things TCU. Only on frogstoday.com. The Flying T Club provides the everyday TCU fan and alum the ability to specifically support TCU student athletes. Flying T Club offers 3 levels of memberships. The Flying T Club is a nonprofit organization supporting the brand development of TCU student athletes through a series of unique event-based networking opportunities, which are exclusive to our members. These events provide a great social engagement tool for our members and student athletes alike. Follow them on Instagram at Flying T Club or online at flyingtclub.com.
Frogs Today live here at Lot 12. We're at the Hyatt Place in Fort Worth. It's the Flying T Club basketball tip-off. Thanks for hopping on with us here tonight for this. We got a lot we got to get into. Coming up, we're going to update you on what's going on as far as TCU volleyball is concerned. But right now, our man Emmanuel Miller's alongside. Good to see you, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. It's good to be here.
We've been talking with Bingo and with Jamie about this team in the preseason number 14 ranking. You guys have to feel good about that. I mean, that's respect, isn't it?
I mean, it's a blessing. It's a blessing to be put in that position, but I also think it's humbling because that means there's 13 teams ahead of us. And then at the end of the day, we finished 8-10. So I feel like we have so much to prove, and I think this year we're going to show it to the world.
Does it come with any extra pressure? Do y'all think about it in that terms?
No pressure at all. I mean, we have a group of guys that love to compete, love to get after it. So I think all the pressure is in practice when you're playing against your teammates. I think when we play against other teams, it's going to be the easy part.
Now, when you think about this team this time last year, so many of you guys had transferred in from other places. You were still getting to know each other, still trying to build that chemistry. Now that you guys are all in year 2, What's the expectation and what's the start of the season going to look
You know,
like?
it's crazy because last year, this time, we were talking about how all these transfers are gelling so quick. And now, fast forward to this year, and what we're doing now is crazy how far we've came from that point. And I think we have so much more areas where we can improve. And so it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be very, very good.
So when you think about the team and you think about yourself and your role,
Mhm.
what do you think that you've improved on for this upcoming season?
Really my leadership. I think I've become a better leader. I think I've been a better vocal leader. That's one area I lacked last year, and I think that's one area I improved on.
You know, when you think about that, leadership is an important part of a team like this, and this is a team that's made up with multiple leaders. I mean, it's not all on your shoulders, right?
Not at all. I have great teammates, great supportive teammates that will have my back through thick and thin. Mike Miles, great player. And I can say about each individual. I think collectively as a group, we have such amazing guys on the team that we just help one another.
I feel like, and I feel like you guys, and especially you being one of those, love being at TCU.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have left early. You got all kinds of options in this world today, but for all of you to come back, that says a little something about TCU.
I mean, it just shows how much this school, how much we love this school. We could have everyone on the team could have went somewhere else. They could have transferred. The dudes that didn't play as much, they could have went somewhere else. But I think collectively as a group, we knew we had unfinished business. So coming back for year 2 to finish what we couldn't finish last year, I'm excited.
You know, Emmanuel, you kind of hit the nail on the head. You talked a little bit about the culture of TCU, but when you think about the hype that is building around this program right now. I mean, you just had Ludacris on campus last weekend, right?
It's crazy because we had Keisha before that. Like everyone just loves coming to TCU.
And so you've got all of this hype, you've got all of this energy, all of this kind of marketability now for this team. What does it take for you guys to stay focused and locked in on the task at hand?
I think regardless of the outside noise and what's going on and who's coming here and who knows who, I think at the end of the day, we all know our goal. And that's to win a national championship. Nothing less, nothing more. It's a national championship or nothing. I think all collectively as a program, even the coaches, the managers, the players, the walk-ons, we all know our goal and we compete every single practice to show that.
E-Man, you talk about leadership. You think that is a role that you improved on.
Yeah.
Playing with the national team this summer, working out with them, was that a big success for you? And did you learn a lot from them this summer?
I learned so much, and I'm beyond blessed to be put in that position. I'm from Canada, so knowing the position I'm in and how many people want to be in that position is very humbling and a blessing at the same time. Learning from NBA GMs, scouts, coaches, being in that culture, that environment, it's taught me so many life lessons, so many basketball aspects, and I'm blessed that I had the opportunity to be in that position.
Emmanuel, talk a little bit about that Arizona loss, the 7-9 that's on your practice jerseys, those friendly reminders that Coach Dixon has out there. I mean, those have to be inspiring.
It's very inspiring. A lot of people always ask me every single day, how do you feel about the Arizona game? What could you have done better? What could have happened? I think it's only a negative way if you look at the Arizona, if you make it a negative way. I think that game has taught us so much. It's taught us that every possession matters. It's taught us that defense is important. It's taught us so many areas in the game where we didn't think was as important and that we take great pride in doing now.
All right, Emmanuel Miller, we're looking forward to watching you play, man.
Thank you.
It's going to be a great year. Stay here with us. Number 14 of the preseason poll, Emmanuel Miller joining us here on Frogs Today Live at Lot 12. At the Hyatt Place. You know, volleyball's through the halfway mark of their season. Had a great first half.
Excellent.
It's starting to come together is TCU volleyball. Here's a quick update on what's happening from our man Ray Cartwright on Frogs Today right now.
Second half of conference is where champions are made.
The buy-in and, we've a little fortunate with the scheduling and, just the emergence of a couple of players. Audrey Knowles just really, really coming alive.
We're training at a high level. I think the way that we train, we call it one way. I think one way wins games, and we're getting closer and closer to playing one way. I think, obviously, Audrey Knowles, Julia Adams have been huge, just huge players for us, have come up big in big moments. And so I think having them just take on this bigger role this year, Kenzie, obviously, amazing. Sabrina, everybody is just taking on a bigger role, and I think doing a little bit better than we did last year, and I think ultimately that's just propelling us.
Callie's running the offense really well, and just with our speed, it's hard to beat, and I think a lot of teams in the Big 12 were kind of shocked because we were going so fast.
We started playing not only just to win, but playing for each other. our position groups will pick, like, I'm going to play for the middles, or like the setters are going to play for the outsides.
I think it gets tougher. You know, teams have seen you before. It's harder on your bodies. Later in the season, you're going longer, and so I think you have to work twice as hard. You have to be twice as prepared, and you have to be twice as ready to get after it, because nobody's just going to hand it to you second half of conference.
Big week for TCU volleyball, obviously, as they start the second half of the season. We continue with Frogs Today live here at the Flying T Club basketball tip-off. Got some baseball guys in the house. Football's going to stop by a little bit later on as well, as we come to you from Lot 12 at the Hyatt Place. And I am honored to have Patrick Woodson standing beside me right now, the most important guy in the building. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I don't know about the most important.
In my book, you are.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Patrick's part of Dave's Hot Chicken, who has been with us from the very beginning. Was a sponsor of our training camp, essentially, that we did every day from Frog football. And we want to say a big thank you for being a part of that, man.
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity. I mean, I love TCU. I love what y'all are doing. I think this is, great for the school, great for the brand. Getting us out there, I love it and happy to be a part of it.
Well, I tell you, your place is great for me. I'll be honest with you. I love Dave's Hot Chicken. Give us some sense as to how that's going, because that has been, I tell you, that the Nashville Hot Chicken thing has been a real big. It's been a big deal for a couple of years, especially.
No, it's been going really well. We've got a location out at City View. That was our first.
Yep.
Then me being loving TCU, been coming to game since I was a kid, graduating from here. My son did, my daughter did. We bought a building right there behind Fuzzy's, and that was number 2, and that's all painted up purple. We got a neon football player on the wall, and it's doing well. And then we have a location in South Cooper and Arlington, and that's actually a drive-through.
Yeah,
but it's going well. Tough times for the restaurant, but we're happy.
Yeah, good. I'm glad it's progressing well. Our producer Jay is eating his weight in Dave's Hot Chicken, by the way.
Wonderful.
Yeah, he's got some specials he loves over there. Are you as excited as we are about this basketball season? I know you're at every basketball game. I see you there. I know how you love the game, but are you as excited as we are? I mean, this is going to be special.
I just can't wait. I mean, again, I've been going since I was a kid. Love being down close to the action. We're empty nesters now, so I actually get my wife to come to the game.
Right.
The only downside is I can't yell as much. She gets mad at me.
Or at least not as loud.
So the referees are happy.
Right. Yeah. Patrick, I wanted to thank you. A big thank you for being a part of what we did. Without you, we wouldn't be here tonight. And, we want to continue, wish you continued success, and we'll be about to see you this week, I'm sure.
Sounds great. I appreciate it,
All right. Stay here with me. Patrick Woodson joining us from Dave's Hot Chicken. Coming up next, we're going to talk to a couple more TCU basketball players. Jamie and Bingo return as we continue to preview the number 14 ranked Horned Frogs live here tonight at Lot 12 in Fort Worth on Frogs Today.
For exclusive interviews and content on TCU recruits, subscribe now at frogstoday.com. Any sport, anytime. It's your source for all things TCU. Only on frogstoday.com.
Texas-based Happy Water offers the best-tasting, sugar-free kids drink ever made. Happy Water comes in 4 delicious flavors that you can find at local retailers and on Amazon. Each pouch contains 0 grams of sugar, 0 calories, and 0% juice. Head to happydrinks.com for more information and to purchase Happy Water. That's HAPI Live happy, be happy, drink happy. Simply the best barbecue in Fort Worth. Dine in, catering, or drive-through. 2900 Montgomery, just off I-30. Remember, the best barbecue in Fort Worth is at Railhead Smokehouse. Say hello to the water of tomorrow. Richard's Rainwater. Richard's Rainwater is 100% rain, refreshing, renewable, and the only ingredient we use in our water. Why rain? Because everyone deserves access to clean water, and rain is a 100% renewable resource available everywhere. Drink the rain. Save the planet. Shop now at richardsrainwater.com.
All right, welcome back into Frogs Today live here at Lot 12 of the Hyatt Place as we kick off the TCU basketball season. 14th ranked in the country. We got guys coming by all night long. Glad you've joined us here. Joining us right now, fan favorite, terrific Horned Frog representative, Eddie Lampkin's with us. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Yeah? Yeah, I bet not, man. Things are going, the season's right around the corner. You ready to get back out there playing?
Yeah, I'm ready to get going.
Yeah? How? Give us some sense, because you had a busy off season, had a lot of stuff going on. When you start to get closer and closer to the season, is that when you start to zone in on hoops?
I just feel like that's just my personality, and it's always gonna be like that. So, however I live, that's how it's always gonna be. So I won't change.
But you're ready for the basketball season, ready to get back out there and play a little competition, huh?
For sure.
We can't talk about who you played, but you had a little exhibition game, and you guys did okay.
Oh, we did more than okay.
You did more than okay?
Yeah.
Did you feel pretty good about it?
Yeah, I felt good. I felt like the guys came to play. Everybody was locked in. So I feel like we doing what we got to do. So let's get to Houston this year. Next year.
I was going to say, how inspired are you guys off the way the season ended last year, that game against Arizona? What's driving you right now?
That loss. Get to the championship.
Yeah, still?
Yeah, losing.
You know, Eddie, we talked to you a little bit on the pregame show before TCU beat Kansas State on Saturday. Thanks for stopping by the way. But, we mentioned that you guys were picked 4th in the Big 12. Baylor, Kansas, and Texas are all ahead of you. How does that make you feel?
I mean, it's crazy to see that after, like, we beat Texas last, we beat Kansas. We did good, but we was 8-10. Coach always tell us that every day, so we just got to come out and play and just put on.
Does that add a little bit of more motivation for you, even though everybody's kind of heaving?
Yeah, for sure. We still slip on.
Eddie, I seen a poll that showed 25 centers in the country, and Big E wasn't on there. So talk about a little bit of that. Does that motivate you a little bit?
For sure, 100%. I mean, I don't know if it's 25 people in the country better than me, so I mean, I don't know.
So do you think that puts more of a chip on your shoulder this
For
year
sure.
to come
Dorito
play?
game. Shout out my boy Harry, Dorito game.
Eddie, the schedule's going to be challenging too. Coach has put together a challenging non-conference schedule that's exciting too, because there's some big names on there that you're going to see.
Yeah, Providence. I think we play Providence. I don't know when we play them. Cal.
Clemson maybe.
Yeah, Clemson maybe. That's going to be big. I know they throw the ball inside, and Providence throw the ball inside. So SMU. So I feel like it's a good schedule.
Good. And the Big 12 obviously will be tough again. I mean, we know that. And there's not a better conference in the country, I don't think.
No, it ain't no better conference. So I don't know.
Eddie, I know you still feel a little slept on. The reality is a lot of people across the country know you and they love you now after your performance against Arizona in that game in the tournament. But tell me a little bit about the other bigs that are on this team. Tell me a little bit more about Xavier and Suli and how have they been doing this fall and what are you seeing from them?
Me and during the offseason, I told X, me and him was 1 and 2. Me and him going at it every day. Suli doing good. X been down for a little bit. Suli stepped up. Suli he been having good days every day. So I feel like us three is the best 3 bigs in the Big 12. So I feel like we got 3 people that's top 25 on our team. So.
And does that keep you guys fresh going down the stretch? Are you expecting everybody to play some big minutes?
Yeah, for sure.
So the biggest improvement for you this season, what do you think that you will do for the season this year for the Frogs?
Offensive rebounding the ball, bringing my energy, bringing my winning mentality.
So when you play, do you change your game a lot when you play against different teams, or does Eddie stay the same all the time?
The same. I'm trying to kill you regardless.
Eddie, have you played any pickup ball with Bingo?
Actually, we haven't.
You haven't?
Nah.
I got a story about Eddie, though.
Oh, do you?
The first time I met young fella, we was at an open gym.
Yeah.
And we was playing on the team. He didn't know me yet.
I have played. I have played.
So he didn't know. So what he said to the coach, he said, "Hey, the big fella gonna be in my way." He said, "Young fella, don't worry about it. You're all right." He didn't know I played outside. He looked at my side and thought I was gonna be down low.
Yeah. Eddie, man, we're looking forward to the year. It's going to be fun. Ton of excitement. Hey, did you have fun at Ludacris, by the way?
You want me to be honest?
Yeah.
If the people have fun, I have fun. That's all that really matters.
Yeah, and Suli got engaged. That was good.
Yes, yeah, I'm happy for that.
That was good.
For sure,
That was fun.
100%.
That part was good.
Yeah.
Eddie Lampkin joining us here on Frogs Today Live here at Lot 12. We got more to come, including Chuck O'Bannon. He'll join us next when we continue after this timeout.
Leaves Hot Chicken is a cult favorite and now has 2 locations in Fort Worth, Bryant Irvin Road on I-20 and Berry Street at TCU. Both owned and operated by Horned Frogs. Mention the Frogs Today show and get 10% off anytime and order online at daveshotchicken.com.
The Flying T Club provides the everyday TCU fan and alum the ability to specifically support TCU student athletes. Flying T Club offers 3 levels of memberships. The Flying T Club is a nonprofit organization supporting the brand development of TCU student athletes through a series of unique event-based networking opportunities, which are exclusive to our members. These events provide a great social engagement tool for our members and student athletes alike. Follow them on Instagram at Flying T Club or online at flyingtclub.com.
Texas-based Happy Water offers the best-tasting, sugar-free kids drink ever made. Happy Water comes in 4 delicious flavors that you can find at local retailers and on Amazon. Each pouch contains 0 grams of sugar, 0 calories, and 0% juice. Head to happydrinks.com for more information and to purchase Happy Water. That's HAPI Live happy, be happy, drink happy.
For exclusive interviews and content on TCU recruits, subscribe now at frogstoday.com. Any sport, anytime. It's your source for all things TCU. Only on frogstoday.com.
Welcome back into Lot 12 here at the Hyatt Place in Fort Worth for our Flying T Club basketball tip-off as we come to you here tonight. Brian Estridge, Bingo Merricks is down there. Jamie Plunkett here from Frogs Today, and Chuck O'Bannon is alongside. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you as well.
Yeah, we're fired up about the year. Give me some sense, because you're one of those guys like Emmanuel and others. You didn't have to come back,
right?
But you did. Tell me what's driving that decision for you, Chuck.
We all wanted to go further in the tournament. We had bigger dreams for the end of the season last season, and, we just wanted to come out and go further this season. So that's the main goal.
I think it also says a little something about TCU and Fort Worth and the fact that you guys want to reward them. That says a little. You're paying them back for what's been a pretty good run for you.
Absolutely. The city deserves more.
Yeah.
Go Frogs.
I love it.
Chuck, you guys were known last year for being an elite defensive team, an incredible rebounding team. But when it came to perimeter shooting, there was a little bit of a struggle there. And that surprised me, frankly, because of the shooters that you have on this team between you and Mike and Damian. What have you guys worked on this offseason to maybe improve in that area this year?
Right. Well, one thing last season, we used to get too deep into the paint and we'll kick out for threes. And so that's one thing that we've been working on is getting off the ball with one dribble, and not getting too far deep into the paint.
What's that going to do for your offense if you guys start knocking down shots?
Oh, it's going to expand everything for us. It's going to make everything better for us. It's going to make defense go better for us, and we're going to get more points.
Now, Chuck, when I played, we didn't play in the Big 12 conference. I think
When
that's
you
one
played,
of the
they
best
didn't have a
conferences.
3-point line, did they?
No, I think they did just a little bit. So,
okay.
yeah, so SMU was one of my favorite teams to play against.
Right.
So in the Big 12, do you have a favorite team that you like to play against? When you play against them, you know that you're going to come out.
Not really, but I like big games.
I was going to say, I can kind of answer that because, Chuck, you usually play good against Kansas. I've always thought you raise your level when you're playing those elite teams a little bit, especially when you're matched up on a guy who was a fellow McDonald's All-American or something.
Definitely. When you're playing the top 5 team in the country, when you come into that game, you're going to have a different mindset, and that's just all it is.
Yeah, that's kind of natural, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Were you the same way, Bingo, when in big games?
In big games, I definitely love them. I think the most part, we had a lot of guys like Corey Santee. They also got pumped up for big games too, so you had to step up as well with them because you didn't want to get talked about in the locker room.
That's right. The Hall of Famer's here tonight too, so we got to be careful. We'll talk to him a little bit later on.
All right, Chuck, tell me, you guys are picked 4th in the conference, 14th in the AP poll. What's the feel in the locker room this year? How are you guys managing expectations and staying focused?
We still feel that's too low. We feel that 14 in the country is too low. We feel that 4th in the Big 12 is low. So we still feel that we're a slept-on team, and we expect to end up at the top.
Got a new strength coach who has come in and really changed the way you guys eat, the way you approach things. And I think if you look at it, you're one of the guys that's been affected most by that as far as improvement is concerned.
Absolutely.
Am I right about that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's changed a lot of things with the program, and only for the better. It's only going to make us a better team. So we definitely appreciate him.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're in better shape now than you've been in?
I feel stronger, faster, better shape. Yeah, he definitely changed it all of our bodies.
And speaking of eating habits, do you have a pre-game meal that you like to eat before the game?
I'm a salmon and steak type of guy, mashed potatoes.
Good.
Yeah. So hopefully Thomas puts that in all of our pregame meals.
Make sure he sees it right. I know you're fired up, man. Everybody's ready to get started. Sunday, as a matter of fact, got a little exhibition on Sunday. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Against Paul Quinn. Yeah. Very excited.
4 o'clock, folks can make it out for that. Get your first look at TCU men's basketball. All right, coming up, Xavier Cork's going to join us. Jacoby Cole's got a couple of forwards going to give us a little bit of time. Chuck O'Bandon, thank you very much for coming by here. Frogs Today live here tonight. Lot 12 of the Hyatt Place. Back with more after this timeout.
Say hello to the water of tomorrow. Richard's Rainwater. Richard's Rainwater is 100% rain, refreshing, renewable, and the only ingredient we use in our water. Why rain? Because everyone deserves access to clean water, and rain is a 100% renewable resource available everywhere. Drink the rain. Save the planet. Shop now at richardsrainwater.com. Dave's Hot Chicken is a cult favorite and now has 2 locations in Fort Worth. Bryant Irvin Road on I-20 and Berry Street at TCU. Both owned and operated by Horned Frogs. Mention the Frogs Today show and get 10% off anytime. And order online at daveshotchicken.com.
For exclusive interviews and content on TCU recruits, subscribe now at frogstoday.com. Any sport, anytime. It's your source for all things TCU. Only on frogstoday.com. The Flying T Club provides the everyday TCU fan and alum the ability to specifically support TCU student athletes. Flying T Club offers 3 levels of memberships. The Flying T Club is a nonprofit organization supporting the brand development of TCU student athletes through a series of unique event-based networking opportunities, which are exclusive to our members. These events provide a great social engagement tool for our members and student athletes alike. Follow them on Instagram at Flying T Club or online at flyingtclub.com.
Frogs Today live here tonight at Lot 12. Thanks for joining us as we tip off the TCU men's basketball season. We do it here thanks to our friends at the Flying T Club. Coming up a little bit later on, they got some great raffles that are going to be given away here. They got Desmond Bain jersey, got an R.J. Nembhard jersey, among other things. We'll do that a little bit later on. Coach Dixon still to come here, but right now Jacoby Coles is alongside, along with Xavier Cork joining us as well. All right, man, it is here. I mean, it cranks up on Sunday. Jacoby, you ready to go?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are you excited about it?
I am excited.
Yeah. When you get to this point now, is it time to start playing somebody else? Is that the feeling?
Yeah, I mean, we just had a scrimmage, and I feel like, all of us, want to keep playing. Like, we're having a lot of fun playing with each other, and, it's going to be a good thing for us this year to go out and see what we can do, and so I'm excited.
Yeah, and Xavier, you're going to get back out there here soon, hopefully, an opportunity. Can you feel like you're one of those guys that benefited from the weight room in the offseason? You looked like you did.
Yes, of course. Coach G's been doing a lot with us in the weight room, getting us not only with strength, but also flexibility, coordination, and just helping us all around become better athletes. And I feel like I really improved in that aspect. I become bigger, stronger, faster. So I feel like he really helped us a lot this year already.
Jacoby, looking at the practices, I've seen that you've looked a lot comfortable out there as far as playing with the team. I feel like this is going to be a breakout year for you as far as the teams not knowing you as far as last year. Maybe your minutes were down just a little bit, but I think you'll play more this year. So how do you think about that? How do you feel about your time this year?
I think for me, going into this next season, I looked at a lot of film, looked at a lot of places where I can, take advantage of my skills. And, Coach Dixon, told me that he thought I could be a guy that can, finish around the basket and have long finishes around the rim. And right now in practice, like I feel like I've been being one of our best cutters, and being able to step out and shoot and just add to my skill set that I already have, and just kind of being more comfortable in my role now and understanding it more. And so it's been helping me out a lot, and I'm just excited.
I seen when you step out and stretch the three, you shoot the 3 ball pretty well. Did you practice on that a lot this summer?
Yeah, I got a lot of shots in this summer. Like last year, that I feel like they thought I was going to be more of a shooter, and I feel like for me, I feel like I underachieved in that. And so for me, going this summer, I got a lot of shots up. Working out in the mornings, getting more comfortable with my shot. My shot's always been pretty flat, so just working on my arch, and I feel like it's been helping me out lately. So it's been good.
When you think about it too, Jacoby, you were a little bit behind the 8 ball to start the year last year with the injury. It took you a while. But I really liked your perseverance. The fact that you didn't give up, you didn't quit, and you really contributed down the stretch for this team. You had to feel good about that too.
Yeah. I mean, it's always good. You know, I'm always a team player. You know, I want to see us win. I want to see us do the best we can. And, of course, I want to be on the floor. But, you know, it's not always everybody's time at that point. And for me, you know, this summer was my first summer where I really got to get in the gym and work out. Like, the first summer was COVID. And my last summer I was hurt. So I got to actually spend a lot of time in the gym and get better and get my body a lot better. And I feel like that's benefited me a lot.
Bingo, I joke with Xavier, we're the only two guys in Fort Worth that have been to Cullowhee, North Carolina, where he transferred from Western Carolina. I'm curious, Xavier, when you see the atmosphere in the Schollmeyer Arena now, that's got to make you feel good about your transfer. I mean, you think about even Schollmeyer Live with Ludacris. I mean, that's an atmosphere that you wanted to play in front of, wasn't it?
Yes, of course. Coming from Western Carolina, obviously not being very prestigious school, especially on the basketball aspect, we get a couple fans, but not really nothing crazy. So coming here to Schollmeyer, we're packing it out. Fans are into it. A lot of going crazy. The Schollmeyer Live, especially, a lot of people came out and showed love for that. Came out and supported the men's basketball team. So that's a very interesting thing to see coming from a school like Western Carolina.
X, one of the things that impressed me last season about you was that you was able to switch pick and rolls. You were able to switch pick and rolls, the guard on guards and everything. Do you think this year that you'll be more offensive minded coming into this season?
Yes, I think that's speaking to Dixon, that's one of the things that he talked about. He feels like that I've improved in my game a lot, especially offensively, especially around the basket and even stepping out for a mid-range jump shot at times. He said that I should look to be more aggressive and look to score more because I have put in the work and I have gotten better on that side of the ball. So he feels like I should be more aggressive and use that more.
Hey, tell me, Xavier, about the help that Tony Benford's given you. And he's a guy that's, he knows the big man game, and he's pretty good at coaching it. How's he helped your game?
He's helped my game a lot. Like you said, he's very good at what he does. He puts me in the best positions to be successful. As far as footwork, touch around the rim, we work on all that consistently every day. We work on that stuff. I feel like he really puts us in the best position to do what we need to do to be successful as a big man.
Hey, I asked this earlier, the guys. Have you guys played open gym at all with Bingo? Have you seen his game?
I haven't. I heard he was kind of a stretch big and stretch it out and shoot.
Oh, yeah,
but I haven't got a chance to go.
Yeah, we can't get him to play with his back to the basket for some reason. I don't know why. He still thinks he's out there, running up and down, shooting those threes.
Well, I started this for the guys to be the stretch big. You know? So it opened it up for guys like Eddie and Jacoby.
That's what it was, yes. Guys, thanks for coming by. Looking forward to the season. Hang tight. Stay right here for a second. All right, we got a lot more coming up, including the head coach of the Horned Frogs. Jamie Dixon's going to join us next as we come to you live here at Lot 12 at the Hyatt Place in Fort Worth. It's our Flying T Club tip-off. It is Frogs Today Live, and it continues after this.
For exclusive interviews and content on TCU recruits, subscribe now at frogstoday.com. Any sport, anytime. It's your source for all things TCU. Only on frogstoday.com.
Texas-based Happy Water offers the best-tasting, sugar-free kids drink ever made. Happy Water comes in 4 delicious flavors that you can find at local retailers and on Amazon. Each pouch contains 0 grams of sugar, 0 calories, and 0% juice. Head to happydrinks.com for more information and to purchase Happy Water. That's HAPI drinks.com. Live happy, be happy, drink happy. Simply the best barbecue in Fort Worth. Dine in, catering, or drive-through. 2900 Montgomery, just off I-30. Remember, the best barbecue in Fort Worth is at Railhead Smokehouse. Say hello to the water of tomorrow. Richards Rainwater. Richards Rainwater is 100% rain, refreshing, renewable, and the only ingredient we use in our water. Why rain? Because everyone deserves access to clean water, and rain is a 100% renewable resource available everywhere. Drink the rain. Save the planet.
Frogs Today Live continues here, Lot 12 in Fort Worth at the Hyatt Place. Thanks for tuning us in here tonight as we kick off the TCU basketball season with this tip-off event, if you will, presented by our friends at the Flying T Club. The head coach, Jamie Dixon, alongside Bingo Merricks is here, Jamie Plunkett. as well. All right, let's dive right into it. We've had a chance to talk to these guys. We got the preseason number 14 ranking. Obviously, we know where things stand in the Big 12. A lot of guys coming back, but you get a sense, man, there's a real camaraderie with this group and a point to prove, a lot to prove still.
Yeah, a close group. There's no question. And, people wonder about how we had so many guys return in an age of not returning, doing your own thing, going and playing at some other school. The grass is greener. These guys really kind of recruited each other, I think, is how it played out. I think they wanted to play together. They wanted to do something special this year. And everybody says, what'd you do? Not much. These guys like each other, they like being around each other, and they saw themselves making each other better. And I think the school, I think the connection with the students, those things really factored into, because we saw last year the students, the energy that we're seeing in football. I think it started last year with the student section, and I think it's just something that kind of, I didn't have to do anything. It really took care of itself.
Coach, we got a really good impression of this team last year as far as defense and rebounding was concerned. When you return a lot of players like you're doing, people can assume that you're going to be the same team, but how is TCU basketball going to be different this year?
Offensively, we spent the summer trying to get better, and I say that even the spring with the workouts, the few we were able to have, about 12 of them, but this summer, 65 practices when you add in, and we're probably up to 70, 75, 76 now. We spent all summer, all fall of just offense, and it was playing without the ball, playing with the ball, skill level, team, 5 guys, really broke down things too at the same time. So we had to cut down turnovers. We've got to shoot the ball better. We've got to get transition baskets. And so our transition game is much improved. Getting out and finishing, getting out and running. We have the athletes that just didn't know what running really was. And then decision making, not over penetrating, making the simpler play. We've emphasized that we've been better, and we saw it obviously in the first scrimmage that everybody doesn't know about, the secret scrimmage, but somehow the box score was out there, and it wasn't us, which is the amazing thing.
And we won't talk about it 20 minutes.
Yeah, is that right? So, and funny, it came out from the Alabama guys that they're using it for motivation. I got to tone it down, but we scored a lot of points against a very good team in the 2 halves.
Yeah. Now, Coach, I heard you was a great player back when you played, and so
the story is getting like, well, Matt knows, and he's shaking his head. Man, there's my roommate. So the one time he shows up, he's just there to get great attacks.
So the fact of you being a great player back when you played, and now that you coached for so many years, you've seen the evolution of the game. Does that affect your coaching now as what you've seen before?
I mean, we're changing. I mean, evolving. Defensively, we're different than when I got here. Offensively, I mean, we're watching NBA games this week and just seeing what they're doing. I go to practices. I was at the Wizards this year, Lakers, Clippers last year, Toronto in the summer. It just, you're always trying to evolve. That's what's fun about it, getting better, reinventing yourself, figuring out new ways and better ways to do it, and adjusting to the times and the players. Our players are here they all want to make the next level. They all want to play like you did, play the NBA obviously, but play for a living.
Right.
And it's that's what we want them to do too, and we want it as much as they want it. Sometimes they may not believe that or understand it, but we want them to be successful, play, but also get their degree and have some contacts, some people to come back to when they want to start working.
I wonder if the fact that now you got 3 guys in the NBA that you've placed there here just from TCU, does that figure in now? I mean, does that help in recruiting?
I think it does. I mean, it's something you talk about. There's a immediate gratification thing. They want to get there in 1 year. Those guys are different. They're unique stories because you're talking about Kenrich, you're talking about Desmond, under-recruited, really no one recruited in some cases, but became NBA players over time. And that's a process that's hard, but you got to go into the league when you're your best player you can be, because you need to make it, but then you need to stay in it. And there's so many guys that are there for half a year, maybe a year, but it's so hard to make. It's even harder to make a career of it.
Coach, you've got the Big 12 preseason player of the year this year in Mike Miles. How has his game improved since he got on campus to now?
You know what I like he's really doing well right now is, and I've talked about defensively, he's playing very well in practice. And you have to, because we've got good players all at every spot. So I think he's defending very well. I think he's moving better without the ball. And I talked to him today, and both Damian and him have done a better job of not thinking we have to force a shot, trust in the offense, and we're trying to get away from the late clock shots situations that we were in. Too many of them. So we're just trying to stay with what we're doing, execute, and I think we're doing some things that play to their strengths differently than we did last year.
All right, final thought here. Tonight, the Flying T Club event.
Yeah.
The importance of the Flying T Club and what it has done for your program, what it's done for TCU athletics.
Well, I mean, simply put, we recruited these guys, and they're excited to come to TCU, but we weren't promising them anything. The NIL was coming in at that point. Right. So now all of a sudden, when you come in the middle of the year last year, January, February, the Flying T comes out of nowhere, and there's some resources, so some people step up. And, if I mention one name, you can't do everybody. Right. I don't know if I'm even allowed to, but it just – all of a sudden you got guys working their tail off, having good years, and then here you go. We appreciate. We're gonna compete with everybody. This is what we're here to do. We're here to support the program and take it to another level. And we're smaller. There's no question about it. But it doesn't mean we can't do things and take care of our players and make them feel like we appreciate what they're doing. And we saw that come out of nowhere. I don't think anybody anticipated, but it's the world we live in. And these guys are playing year-round. That's the thing I want to talk about. There is no time for a part-time job. There is no time for an internship. That's how they used to recruit kids. Tell you, hey, we got an internship for you. We got a job in the summer. We're practicing year-round. It's what it is. So we can't thank them enough, and they've been great. And I think they're having fun, too, because none of them are listening to me right now. So.
Exactly. First look at them Sunday, Paul Quinn.
Yeah.
Exhibition, 4 o'clock. Sunday, so first.
It's first look. Got to play a non-D1, and it gets us out, puts the lights on, and hopefully we can celebrate the win at West Virginia, and then go right into the game on Sunday.
It's going to be great.
Thank you.
Jamie Dixon joining us here.
Thank you, guys.
Coming up next, Braden Taylor's going to be with us as we continue our Flying T Club tip-off event. Back we come after this timeout.
Dave's Hot Chicken is a cult favorite and now has 2 locations in Fort Worth, Bryant Irvin Road on I-20 and Berry Street at TCU. Both owned and operated by Horned Frogs. Mention the Frogs Today show and get 10% off anytime and order online at daveshotchicken.com.
The Flying T Club provides the everyday TCU fan and alum the ability to specifically support TCU student athletes. Flying T Club offers 3 levels of memberships. The Flying T Club is a nonprofit organization supporting the brand development of TCU student athletes through a series of unique event-based networking opportunities, which are exclusive to our members. These events provide a great social engagement tool for our members and student athletes alike. Follow them on Instagram at Flying T Club or online at flyingtclub.com.
Texas-based Happy Water offers the best-tasting, sugar-free kids drink ever made. Happy Water comes in 4 delicious flavors that you can find at local retailers and on Amazon. Each pouch contains 0 grams of sugar, 0 calories, and 0% juice. Head to happydrinks.com for more information and to purchase Happy Water. That's HAPIdrinks.com. Live happy. Be happy. Drink happy.
For exclusive interviews and content on TCU recruits, subscribe now at frogstoday.com. Any sport, anytime. It's your source for all things TCU. Only on frogstoday.com.
Welcome back into the Frogs Today live show here at Lot 12. We're hanging out on the rooftop patio for the Flying T Club basketball tip-off event. We've talked a lot of basketball. We've talked to a few baseball players already as well, but we've got 2 more here at the desk with me, Braden Taylor and Austin Davis, 2 members of TCU's baseball team. Guys, you're about 3 weeks into fall camp at this point. Give me the vibe, give me the energy around TCU baseball right now.
We got extremely good vibes going on with our baseball team. I feel like this whole team is built on such good culture. I feel like all of us are fitting in really well. All the new guys, especially AD and all of our new transfers, the freshmen, everybody's, buying into what we go about here, and it's really awesome to see.
As Braden mentioned, Austin, you're one of the new transfers into the program this year. Tell me, what do you know now about TCU baseball that you maybe didn't know when you transferred here?
TCU baseball is big on culture here. I knew a lot of Texas schools are big on culture, but TCU really takes that to heart. They bring you in like family, so that's one thing I've seen different here.
Braden, you've received quite a few accolades over the course of your career here. What's the goal for you individually this year, and what's the goal for the team?
Goal for me individually is just being the best person, best teammate I can possibly be, and the goal for the team obviously is winning. You know, I mean, we got a really good team this year, like I said, and we got a good shot, and we're gonna go out there and play every game like we're gonna go out and win.
When you have the success like you had last year, winning the Big 12 regular season, Coach Los getting Big 12 Coach of the Year, but then your season ends like it did in a regional in Texas A&M, is that a motivating factor coming into this year?
Oh yeah, it's absolutely. I mean, you know, there's only one team that's going to stand, you know, at the end of the year, and so it's our goal to be the best we can possibly be and go out there and beat that team to, you know, be standing out there.
And Austin, was that a part of the appeal of transferring to TCU this year, was seeing kind of the hardware on the wall and knowing what the ultimate goal was for this program?
Yeah, TCU baseball had a lot of history of winning over the years. As you can see, they're back-to-back Big 12 champs, winning the conference championship and winning the regular seasons. But the main focus now is go win Omaha. Like, they consistently win the Big 12 championship, so let's take another step higher and let's go win the championship.
So you guys had an exhibition game against the Texas Rangers Instructional League team a couple weeks ago now. And Austin, you had a pretty nice double down the left field line, and that one drove in TCU's first run of the game. Was that your first experience playing in a professional stadium, and what was that like for you?
It wasn't my first experience. I played at PNC Park a few times, the Big 12 tournament now being at Globe Life. So it was a cool experience. Kind of sucks that can't fill up the whole stadium because it's a big stadium, but it's great experience to get a little MLB life, day in the life in the stadium there. So,
Braden, was it going through the back of your mind during that game at all that the guys across from you are getting paid to play this game? Was that helpful as a motivator?
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, you just look over and see that these guys are, you know, living out the dream. Like, you know, that's what we're all striving to do. You know, it's kind of that motivation to be like, yep, we want to go out there and we want to do just what you guys are doing.
What's it like playing in a game where one team is using wood bats and the other team is using aluminum bats?
I thought it was very interesting. I wanted to use wood bats, but, you know, we made an executive decision to use metal, but, you know, it didn't play that big of an effect on us, you know. So.
You know, Austin, you're entering a lineup that's missing a few key pieces from last year, but looking to fill in and kind of take to the next level. What are you looking forward to about this offensive lineup for you guys this year?
This lineup is very explosive. You got guys that can run, guys that can hit for power. You got guys that can hit for power that can also run. You got guys who can run and can hit for power. So it's going to be a fun experience. We got all the tools in the bag. We can break out any type of offense we want. We can hit the long ball. We can play the short ball. It's going to be fun.
You were on a team that took 2 of 3 from TCU last year when you guys came down to Fort Worth. Sorry, Brady, I had to bring it up. But, you know, when you were playing in the other dugout and you were looking at TCU from that perspective, what did you see about the program?
It's just every time you see a team like TCU, you know, they got a lot of culture, and it's going to be, you want to bring your best every time you play them. So teams like us, like TCU, being on the other side, you want to bring your best because, you know, that's a great team over there, so you got to bring your best every time you play them.
And last question for you, Braden. You know, you lost a lot of senior leadership on this program from a season ago. How are you stepping up into a leadership role for the new guys that have come in?
Basically, for me, is I'm just trying to do what I was taught. You know, what I was shown when I was a young guy. You know, I had great leaders such as Zach Humphreys, Connor Shepard, Austin Henry. I'm trying to be just like them, you know, be as great as teammate as I can be for all these young guys because I know how hard it is.
Awesome. Thanks, guys, for joining the show. Hang with me just for 2 seconds. This is the Frogs Today live show here at Lot 12. We're kicking off the basketball season with the Flying T Club's tip-off event. We're going to be right back after this break. We've got Damian Ball and our live auction coming up next.
Say hello to the water of tomorrow. Richard's Rainwater. Richard's Rainwater is 100% rain, refreshing, renewable, and the only ingredient we use in our water. Why rain? Because everyone deserves access to clean water, and rain is a 100% renewable resource available everywhere. Drink the rain. Save the planet. Shop now at richardsrainwater.com. Dave's Hot Chicken is a cult favorite and now has 2 locations in Fort Worth. Bryant Irvin Road on I-20 and Berry Street at TCU. Both owned and operated by Horned Frogs. Mention the Frogs Today show and get 10% off anytime. And order online at daveshotchicken.com.
For exclusive interviews and content on TCU recruits, subscribe now at frogstoday.com. Any sport, anytime. It's your source for all things TCU. Only on frogstoday.com. The Flying T Club provides the everyday TCU fan and alum the ability to specifically support TCU student athletes. Flying T Club offers 3 levels of memberships. The Flying T Club is a nonprofit organization supporting the brand development of TCU student athletes through a series of unique event-based networking opportunities, which are exclusive to our members. These events provide a great social engagement tool for our members and student athletes alike. Follow them on Instagram at Flying T Club or online at flyingtclub.com.
Here we go. Frogs Today Live continues here, Lot 12 in Fort Worth at the Hyatt Place. It is our Flying T Club tip-off event. It is Frogs Today Live tonight. Brian Estridge, Bingo Merricks, Jamie Plunkett is alongside, and our man Damian Ball as well. We saved him for the end here to visit with us. Damian, let's talk a little bit about Coach Dixon was talking earlier about how this team kind of recruited themselves to come back. There were opportunities for you not to come back. In the end, you decided to. What led to that decision for you?
I had to say, like, the Arizona loss. Like, I feel like, I mean, it's not good to say, but I'm happy that we lost that game.
Yeah?
Yeah, because it brought us hunger. Like, it showed us, like, we can be beat and how good we really were. And I feel like it clicked late for us. I kind of wish it would have clicked earlier and we wouldn't have been in that predicament. But, I mean, hey, like, that's just how it is.
But getting there, did it also show you that you could play with the best in the country and that you were real close?
Yeah. I feel like coming in, like, we were all transfers. It was, how many of us? 8 transfers?
Yeah.
7?
Yeah.
So I feel like coming in, like, nobody knew what to expect but Micah P because he went to Texas Tech. So none of us knew what to expect. So I feel like towards the end, like, we really figured out how good we really were.
You know, this is a team that as you guys got connected, as you guys developed those relationships, we saw you pick up the play on the court last year. Now that you guys are here in year 2, is that expectation for you guys that you're going to take off right away?
For sure. I feel like going off last year, since day one, you know, we laughed and joked with each other, but it wasn't really as, like, I mean, as serious because we really didn't know each other. But I feel like now, like, we've been together for a year, so we really know each other, so it should take off from there.
So being with expectations, do y'all start off thinking national championship, or do you wait till the season goes on and see how you start playing, or does it start from the beginning that we thinking national championship or nothing?
It starts from the beginning. I mean, national championship is the goal. You know, we was close last year, but I mean, that's our goal, but that's not really our goal. We're here to get better every day. So I guess we're just gonna take it game by game.
Tell me this, Damian. You come in, you make an impact into a program like you did last year, but there are areas where everyone's talked about they want to get better at. Did you identify a couple for you that you want to get better at as far as your game is concerned?
I would have to say just being a better teammate, jump shooting, and just keep encouraging guys. Like, I know sometimes they get down when they miss shots, but I just keep telling them, like, stick with it, keep shooting. Like, don't get mad at your shots. We know we're going to get it back on the defensive end, offensive rebound. So, I mean, just keep being a good teammate like that.
You know, talking to Eddie and E-Man and a couple of the other guys earlier tonight, it seems like there's a common theme with you guys. Even though you were picked 4th in the Big 12 and 14th in the AP poll, that there's still a chip on your shoulder. Where does that motivation come from?
I mean, 4th. So, I mean, it ain't 1. 14. It's not 1. So, I mean, then we see, like, little stuff on Instagram and Twitter. Like, Eddie was at the top 25 big man. Yep. Like, that's another chip on that's another chip on our shoulder. It's just a lot of things, like little things that people don't see. So I just.
Speaking of chip on your shoulder, I love your game. I feel like you're a great two-way player. Who do you patent your game after anybody in particular?
I just do my own thing, and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah,
maybe a little Corey Santi in there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you got the teardrop. You got the teardrop. Yeah. How's the family doing?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's good.
Yes, sir.
All right, looking forward to seeing them out there. Sunday, Paul Quinn, 4 o'clock's going to be fun, right?
Yes. First game and feel like forever.
Yeah.
Feel like a year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
For a year. Glad you're back, man.
Thank you.
Damian Ball joining us here. Frogs Today live at Lot 12 in Fort Worth at the Hyatt Place. All right, final thought from you, Bingo. We get ready to see this team on Sunday against Paul Quinn. What are you looking forward to the most?
I'm just looking for some new blood. I know these guys, I've watched some of their practices, and I know they're tired of beating each other up. So I think they're ready for the opponents and ready to get the season kicked off.
Jamie, the excitement is, you can it's palpable here in Fort Worth right now. I think folks are ready for this basketball season to get started.
I think they are. We saw student records set in attendance a couple times last year. So what they do in the off season, they expanded the student section. So we're looking forward to maybe even more students getting in there this year, more fans getting in there and watching the Horned Frogs play. And these guys perform well under the big lights, so we're excited to see it.
All right, thank you to everybody who helped make this possible tonight here at Lot 12, a live edition of Frogs Today. Don't forget, coming up on Friday, we'll have our Football Intensive Friday for you, including a visit with a former Frog quarterback and a guy who made a big play against West Virginia in year 1 of the Big 12. That'll happen on Friday. Tomorrow, it's a one-on-one special on Frogs Today with the men's golf program. You want to be around for that one here. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. FrogsToday.com and our YouTube channel, as always. For Bingo Merricks, for Jamie Plunkett, and our special guest, Damian Ball. I'm Brian Estridge. Thanks for joining us here at Lot 12 at the Hyatt Place for our Flying T Club tip-off here on Frogs Today.
Frogs Today is brought to you by the Flying T Club, supporting TCU student athletes, and by Richard's Rainwater. Say hello to the water of tomorrow. Frogs Today is a production of Roxo Media House.
Roxo Media House.